Hey, you know what? This video gonna go more viral than I'm faded, so it really don't matter. Famous crit.
Before Blueface would upset a lot of people for saying this.
Hey, cuz, y'all tell him to give me that George Floyd discount. I need that Black Lives Matter discount.
Before Blueface would drop hits like Thotiana, Respect My Crippin', Deadlocks, and also make a name for himself by doing things like this.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Blueface seemingly came onto the scene after a meme of Courage the Cowardly Dog would go viral, pretty much comparing the two's voices. There was also the time he would release his own D-pic after someone had already exposed him. But it seems the haters have never gotten to Blueface, who was once a star quarterback in high school. And although from a young age he never really had aspirations to rap, it didn't take the LA native, who's also a very proud Crip, long before he started making a name for himself in the rap game. It's no surprise Blueface made it big time. But unfortunately, over the course of his short career, Blueface has also had a few run-ins with the law, and now maybe getting into it with one of the rap game's biggest trolls.
I mean, has he had a song to follow up the Thotty song?
I personally might bleed it, but you know,
Was it a hit?
Not in terms of Billboard.
He fell off. That's to be perfectly honest.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Before They Were Famous. I'm your host for this one, Jared Bronstein, and today we're documenting the life and come up of Blueface before fame. Now, this is actually an updated video, but we've learned more about the Thotiana rapper in recent years, and he's also continued making a name for himself by just being him.
What am I doing? Probably getting my dick sucked, smoking weed, being ignorant.
It's so deep.
Be sure to let us know who's next in the comments down below, but for now, let's get right into it. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom! Blueface was born Jonathan Porter on January 20th, 1997 in Los Angeles, California. He's got an older brother who was heavily involved with the Crips that made up the majority of his childhood neighborhood, and two sisters. His mother, who was originally from Ohio but moved to LA to pursue acting, would take a young Jonathan around with her to auditions. Eventually, he'd actually book a McDonald's commercial. He explained, I quote, "It was fun when I got picked and I was in the commercial and it was like, oh look at that commercial. But I didn't enjoy it as a kid." In fact, our boy Jeremy Hecht, who used to host some videos on here, sat down with Blueface and asked him about the commercial and acting in general. Here's what he had to say.
So yeah, I had to sit in class for 8 hours, fake doing and then I get to act for like 30 minutes. And then yeah, it was whack. Oh, it lasted a long time, you know, shit. It lasted a long time.
Still getting royalties.
Hey, McDonald's, what's up, man? You feel me? Bring y'all back.
Shout out my boy Jeremy. His lack of interest in acting and the fact that he spent time living with both his mother and father, who split up when he was just a kid, Porter would constantly be on the move. And because of this, as you can imagine, he switched schools a lot as well. This was partly due to his living situation and partly in hopes of finding a school with a better sports program, which we'll get into in a little bit. It seems he went to Marvin Elementary in LA, then moved to Wilshire Crest before heading to John Burroughs. But eventually his mother would move out to the Valley, so as he put it, he would attend a bunch of Valley schools. However, his father was also on the move, going from Santa Clarita to Anaheim and eventually Oakland. His passion for playing football would come from his dad, who he would spend his time with during the football seasons. Due to the fact that he moved a lot and his personality, Blueface didn't have many friends when he was younger. I quote him saying, "I'd go to practice and go home. I ain't have no friends. I was antisocial. It was like, you know of me, but you don't know me. It's still that way. I like it that way." However, it wouldn't be long before that would change.
Hey, we're here with Jonathan Porter, standout quarterback for the Arleta football team. 9 of 13, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns.
As we know, being the starting QB for your team in high school is a good way to get your name out there. But when you're as good as a young Blueface was, well, it was bound to get the attention of some very important people as well. Now, looking at his stats, the kid could definitely play. In his junior year at Arleta High, or the 2013-14 season, he would throw 17 touchdowns and 2 picks over the span of 10 games. Although his senior year wasn't as impressive statistically, with 21 TDs and 11 picks in 12 games, his mother still encouraged him to submit tapes of his play for a chance to land a scholarship after garnering little interest from schools. Shortly after graduating from Golden Valley High School in 2015, he would get a scholarship to Fayetteville State University, expecting to be the starting QB. And just to clarify, the man had a good arm, but he could also take off like a young Mike Vick. He would attend the school who took a chance on him for just 2 months before dropping out after the team's head coach would start a redshirt freshman in a game, ruining an entire season of his eligibility. There was also the fact that he was feeling a little homesick, but as he put it, I quote, "Once football started going left, it was like, why am I here? It was too different." Porter's mother would move while he would be at university, so when he returned to LA, he didn't have his mother's home to go back to. This turned out to be a good thing. Sorta. Telling Double XL, I quote, "I was gonna keep trying to do football, play like junior college until, I make that happen. My mom had moved out after I went to college, so it was just me trying to pretty much do college and support myself and get a car and shit like that. Once that became too hard, I guess I went back to the streets and shit." In his own words, after returning, he was, I quote, "being a barber, gang-banging, and selling drugs." Now, it's no secret that Blueface is a part of the Schoolyard Crips, who he would officially pledge allegiance to when he was 18 years old. Around this time, he would also run the Instagram account The Fade Room, a play on The Shade Room. However, instead of posting about celebrities and musicians, The Fade Room would post fades. Both kinds. In an effort to make money, Jonathan would try his hand in being a barber, but would also post videos of him and his friends boxing. At its peak, this account would actually reach 500,000 followers, but a young Blueface didn't really care much about the followers. Explaining to Fader magazine, I quote, "I was giving fades and we were running fades. It was just something I did for fun. I didn't even post pictures of myself. I wasn't in that state of mind." In early 2017, Blueface and Jaden, a high school girlfriend, would also welcome their son Javon into the world. Blueface would spend a lot of time with Javon, while Jaden, who he's been on and off with since high school, would work to provide. Around this time, Blueface would also start his career as a rapper, purely by chance. After driving with his friend TC4800 to one of his shows, TC would forget his phone charger in Blue's car. A few days later, TC told Blueface to drop the charger off at the studio where he was recording. Blueface would sit in on the session and would be inspired to write a verse, recording it on the spot. Although he claims growing up he would listen to rap and was influenced by the likes of 50 Cent, The Game, and Snoop Dogg, Blueface's style is unlike any other. And this in part is what led to him becoming such a big success. Having the time to commit to the rap game, just hanging out with his infant son at home, Blueface knew he needed to do more than just focus on his music to make a name for himself, although people have compared him to Eazy-E before. Still, dropping a few songs on SoundCloud in September of 2017, such as Kick a Dough, No Relations, and Chase Me, Blueface would slowly start to build some buzz for himself. But it wouldn't be until he dropped the song Deadlocks, produced by Scum Beats, that his career would start to get some serious traction. After seeing this song was going to be his first big hit, Blueface would produce and drop the music video on March 17th, 2018. Still, his name wasn't big enough to get him booked on shows, so being the opportunistic and entrepreneurial man he is, Blueface hosted Instagram polls or contests, asking high school students where he should perform a free concert. The school with the most votes would win, and it turns out this was a great strategy, because it wouldn't be long before Blueface would be going from school to school, performing on top of his car, while hundreds of kids sang his tracks back to him. With all the hype surrounding his name, Blueface would drop his first full-length tape, Famous Crip, on June 20th, 2018. This tape would include Deadlocks Part 1 and 2, Respect My Crippin', and of course his biggest song to date, Thotiana. Shortly after, in September of 2018, he would release another EP, Too Cocky. Then on October 8th, 2018, his music video for Respect My Crippin' would drop on World Star Hip Hop, soon after being posted on Twitter and becoming a meme. There was also the incident when he accidentally showed a little more than he was planning on while in the shower. With haters telling him he's got fake chains on, he wanted to prove them wrong by showering with them on. Unfortunately, someone noticed something he didn't, and it wasn't the most flattering image. Because of this, and possibly seeing a big opportunity to do something most others wouldn't, Blueface released a picture of his own, revealing it all, and made it the cover for the song Put It in Her Face.
I made a song called Put It in Her Face, and the cover was a dick pic. That shit went viral.
There you go. So that could have possibly gone the wrong way.
Because I'm kind of, a sex symbol in this. So,
you a good-looking guy, no homo.
So that was like, man,
shout out to the gay people.
Shrimp dicks and all type of shit in my comments.
There were also the comparisons of people saying his voice sounded like Courage the Cowardly Dog, something he actually finds funny. Then people tried to come down on the guy for his poor attempt doing the Crip Walk, something he would embrace and actually actively record himself doing, posting for his fans to see his improvements. In November of 2018, Blueface would officially sign with Cash Money West, although he would also run into some trouble with the law after allegedly being the victim of a robbery at a gas station. Now, normally being the victim doesn't get you arrested, but in Blueface's case, he wasn't going to let someone jack him and just get away with it. So naturally, after the guy took off from the gas station, Blueface caught up to him and started firing at his car. It resulted in Blueface crashing his whip, and he would be arrested for this road rage incident, but would later post bail and be released, posting a video shortly after.
They done f***ed up and freed the famous Crip, kid. They done f***ed up. Back on my bullshit. Bah!
From this point on, Blueface's career would really skyrocket, starting off 2019 with a music video directed by the one and only Cole Bennett being posted on the Lyrical Lemonade YouTube channel, garnering over 2 million views in less than 24 hours. He would also be named to the XXL 2019 freshman list, and Thotiana would be Blueface's first single to land on the Billboard charts, and it would be remixed by the likes of YG and Cardi B. However, shortly after the remixes, Blueface would be arrested once again on February 1st, 2019 after carrying a loaded gun. In October of the same year, the charges would be dropped, but Blueface would face a 36-month probation which didn't require court supervision and 8 days of community service. As you can imagine, he's also had to pay some fines and court fees, but that's standard with any charge. As we know, Blueface has gone on to work with the likes of The Game, Rich the Kid, Offset, and Lil Pump, and has released an EP, Dirtbag, as well as his debut studio album, Find the Beat. Although they weren't praised as highly as some of his earlier hits, it seems Blueface has always found a way to come out on top, even with the odds against him. Then again, with his trolling ways, sometimes people feel he does go a little too far. This could be evident in one of his more recent posts, which led to a fair share of backlash.
Hey, cuz, y'all tell him to give me that George Floyd discount. I need that Black Lives Matter discount.
But it seems this guy just keeps finding a way. He had 2 girlfriends at one point, kicked his mother and sister out of his house, and now he's beefing with Tekashi, it seems.
Wanna know who f***ed up the internet? 6ix9ine. The internet. It's his fault. It's his fault. His fault, all these fake and everybody just talking just to get a reaction, response, everything's a meme, but it's his fault.
Now we know Tekashi really isn't afraid of anyone at this point, but I'm not so sure he's seen Blueface throwing hands. And if boxing doesn't work out for the guy, he's clearly not going anywhere anytime soon, regardless if you like his sound or not. So I got no doubt he'll be coming out with another banger for summer 2020. Maybe it'll even be that song with Drake we've all been waiting on. As for the rest of the story, well, this guy's likely going to have a long career ahead of him, so we gotta wait and see how it plays out. That does it for this one, guys. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. You guys have been watching Before They're Famous, and we'll see you in the next one.